Hi, I'm Major Berman with the Mortgage News Network. We're here in Boston at the MBA National. We've got Deborah Sturges, who's the president and CEO for Hallmark Home Mortgage. Deborah, thank you for taking the time out of your day to meet with us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. So listen, I want to talk about something that everyone talks about here. Everyone talks about corporate culture. When you ask people to really define what they're doing to enhance their corporate culture, people start to look at you blankly. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys do specifically to enhance your corporate culture at Hallmark?
Wow, there are so many things that we do throughout the year. It's not, 1 month out of the year or one thing that we do. We just have a lot of initiatives that really focus in on the appreciation and the growth of the employee. I mean, that's basically when you talk about corporate culture, it's that they feel good about coming to your place of employment.
Yep.
Versus somebody down the road. And so so there's a lot of initiatives that go on that is part of the fabric of who we are.
Tell me about one specific thing that you've done, because listen, anyone can come along actually and write a bigger bonus and do something actually to but what do you do specifically that goes the extra mile to enhance that corporate culture?
I think that we're really big believers in promoting from within. If we have a position that comes available, posting that job within. And so a lot of our training efforts go towards moving people through the process of maybe starting as a case opener to a processor to an underwriter. We really know who we're working with because we have that relationship. We know their work ethic. We know how they care about the company. If they can see a path of success within the organization, you're going to end up with a really loyal employee at the end of the day. And so that's one thing that we really work very hard at. And that is really a plan for each employee that wants to move up within the organization.
Okay, fantastic. Listen, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I was talking to one of your employees, and I heard about something that you did for your staff over the summer. Something that was above and beyond. Would you mind talking to me a little bit about that?
I think I know what you're talking about. We had as many in the mortgage business, we had a very robust spring, summer, and fall. And employees were asked to go above and beyond to get the job done for the customers. You really, end up taking in sometimes more applications than you have people to get it through the system. We don't want to let our customers down, so what does that mean? That means the employee has to roll up their sleeves, work extra time to get the job done and manage the delivery of the product for our customer. So one of the things that I did was I wrote a personal, for all the inside staff, not the sales staff, but everybody that touches that file from the handoff from the loan officer and the sales.
A handwritten note?
I wrote a handwritten note to each person, each employee. There were 150 notes that I wrote, and then I slipped in a $100 bill. And it was so unexpected. And, many of these employees are on a bonus formula anyway, but this was unexpected. And what was really interesting, because then I had a wave of thank you notes back to me, but what was so interesting was the note that meant more to them than the money. I mean, the money was unexpected, and so many single moms that have to stretch their dollars that, they personally wrote what that $100 meant, but they always, in every thank you note that was written back to me, they addressed the note that I wrote to them. And it was my way of really showing appreciation for that extra mile that they went. And so it was, you talk about corporate culture. I think when the owner of the company acknowledges you, it goes a long way. And I did it from the heart.
I agree. I think it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, and I think it's almost like I don't think you realize actually how much of an impact that has on corporate culture. And when you do things that when you're not doing it to increase corporate culture, but you're doing something just from the heart, that's really how you increase the corporate culture. When you do things from within.
It is. It's your walk. It's your daily walk that really defines who you are.
So listen, we were talking something about a scorecard. You guys have a scorecard to improve the SLAs. Tell us a little bit about the scorecard, if you wouldn't mind.
You know, I always try to define us as a high-touch company.
Yeah.
In other words, if a loan needs to get closed in 28 days, we have a way to have that happen. And so what's really important is that the handoff from one person to the next, that's clearly defined. And I think a lot of companies talk about that, and you hope that you're accomplishing that, but you really don't know unless you can monitor that. And so we went to a intelligence system that is measuring all of that. It's Motivity, and so we can really measure, how long it's taking in terms of hours in underwriting, not days. Hours, when they got it and when it's going out, as an example. And each area will have their own way of measuring you as an employee, your progress.
Great.
And there can be a lot of reasons that might affect productivity, but if I'm going to do a good job, I need to know what that is. It might be more training.
Yep.
It might mean that the handoff coming in from sales isn't as clear as it needs to be. That's training, but at least you have data to manage the business and not anecdotal information.
Yeah, so you're working with leading indicators, not lag indicators. Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to be, out in front on those things.
Great. Last question. What do you love about Boston?
Well, I've only been here for 24 hours, not quite, and I'm looking forward to some lobster tonight.
Very cool. Me too.
Yeah, so I guess the cuisine is unbelievable. I mean, the views are gorgeous, but I'm looking forward to lobster tonight. That's what I'm looking for.
Me too.
Okay.
Deborah, thank you very much for joining us.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. Thank you. Pleasure.
it. And I'm Andrew Berman, the Mortgage News Network. Thank you for watching.
This is Mortgage News Network.